Hey crafty friends, hey, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY On this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these flags. Well, it gives the impression of a flag. Using, you can use all kinds of different fabrics. I'm going to show you a bunch of ideas. The whole thing's held together with a paint stir stick. And you can totally be creative and make it be whatever size, whatever style, whatever color you might want it to be. So as you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. Feel free to sprinkle, all that normal jazz. All right, so I'm gonna tell you about this one and then we'll actually start and do one. All right, this one right here, I made using canvas fabric from Walmart. It looks like this. It's in the fabric department. It's pretty heavy. It's on a bolt, but you can get this at any fabric store. It's just your canvas duck fabric, and it's sort of a creamy oatmeal-y color. And then I used this red ticking, which this is all I have left, and I had like 5 yards of it. Also from Walmart in the fabric department. Both of these are like, I don't know, $5 or $6 a yard, so they're not expensive. Okay, so those were the two main things that I used for this one. And then I used just one of these 5-gallon paint stir sticks. That's the form of it. And then I just used some twine, my favorite, from Walmart also, to do my hanger. And let me come up close so you can see, and then we'll dive right in. And I want to see if you guys decide to make some of these. I want to see yours, okay? I really want to see what you come up with. And everything was torn. Nope, I really didn't do hardly any cutting. Okay, so I did start out with this rectangle, which I stenciled using this stencil, which I'll pin some links in just a minute. It's called a Subway Tile 4th of July. And I ran it up and down rather than side to side, just so that I could do my stripes for my flag going this way. Okay, and usually, I think always, this part would be the part that would have the stars, and it's going to be in blue. So I just did red and cream as my stripes. And I used this navy blue ink, which is from Magnolia. We'll be using it for the next one that we're going to get started. So let me just hang this puppy up. And I will get pictures of it when we're all finished. Okay, and let me just quickly pin my links before I forget. So how's everyone doing today? Are you guys excited about this project? I am. I made some of these last year, but I didn't use enough fabric, or it wasn't stiff enough or something to make it be really good. So I'm excited to redo it. And I shared about 2 or 3 weeks ago a whole bunch of pictures from Pinterest of different styles of this idea. So there's a ton of different ways that you can do it. All right, for this one, we're going to be using some of this fabric, which is from Walmart. Walmart really is a good place to get craft supplies. I think it was Waverly fabric, and I believe it was like 2 or 3 yards, probably for around $10, and it just reminds me of bandanas. All right, and then we're using the canvas. And so the first step is to get your little piece that is going to be the equivalent of your stars portion of your flag. And you could iron this if you wanted, but I'm not going to. And for this one, I'm going to use this adorable stencil that says, "God bless America, land that I love." And I'm doing the whole entire thing in blue. Okay, so let's just pull, and this is fabric, so I'm not gonna fuzz this on fabric before I use it on fabric. I'm just going to lay that down on there. And then I am gonna get some paper towels because even though this fabric is thick, it does want to bleed through a little bit. The ink does. Okay, so we'll do this first and let it get started drying. Hey Pearl, thank you for all the hearts and flowers and butterflies. Okay, so I have my stencil on and pressed down good. Now, one of the secrets to using stencils on something like this, which is canvas, or on drop cloth, or really on any kind of fabric, is that you need to resist the urge to keep putting more and more and more ink on it, get it sufficiently covered, and then you can lift the corners and peek. But when you use too much of a medium and it has nowhere to go, then it kind of gets sucked in by the fibers of the fabric and you get a real fuzzy look, which we do not want. So let me see if I can put my camera down just a teeny weeny bit. And if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Nona says, hello from Nampa, Idaho. Wow. That's not far from where my mom and my sister and some of my cousins and I have a lot of relatives in that area of the country. Okay, so I am just going to use one of these little stir sticks to put some ink on my stencil. I'm going to put it in an area where there are not holes. And then I'm going to use one of these bigger spreaders, bigger squeegees, and I'm just going to pick up a little ink and I'm just pushing it through the holes on my stencil, and I'm paying attention to not go outside of the lines, which is what happens to me frequently when I'm not paying attention. Okay. You're going to see how quick this comes together. It's crazy. The most difficult part of this project, honestly, is deciding what to use, what fabric to use, because there are so many options, and I want to show you a bunch of other options before we start the next step. I got them all out. I could do, honestly, with the craft supplies that I have hanging out around here, I could probably do 10. Look how much of this extra ink I have. I'm just gonna put it right back in my little pot. And let's peek. Still see some big blobs. Okay. So I'm just gonna lift up a corner. Looks great. Really does. It really looks great. This is going to be perfect because it has the stars on it. So it is going to be more of a, you know, it just gives the impression of a flag. And not that it resembles exactly a flag, but look at that. Isn't that cute? Let me come close. This stencil is adorable. I've used it on multiple things. God bless America, land that I love. I love these rows of stars and hearts. I love the little heart flag in the center. I mean, you could use this stencil for a lot of different projects. Okay, so I'm going to toss this over here carefully and put this away, and we'll move on to the next step. I sort of introduced to you what I'm planning to do for this one. Throw my squeegees in my little tub of water also. Okay. All right, so in addition to doing something where you're using canvas and a big piece of fabric. You can also make this project using different bandanas. And you know what? I guess this idea of creating crafts out of bandanas must be really big right now, because my favorite store, Walmart, had a huge variety of red, white, and blue ones. This was one too. And then this was one that they had. And then last year at Target, I got some cute ones. Here's just your traditional bandana. You could also use just plain red fabric. And you don't have to use navy blue. You could do more of a royal blue or a navy blue. Obviously, I have a lot of bandanas here. Or you could even do something like this. So there's tons of options. And those bandanas from Walmart, I believe they were around maybe $1.30 or something like that a piece. And you can just snip them and tear them just like everything else. Okay, so like I said before, we're using a 5-gallon paint stir stick from a hardware store. These happen to come, I think, from Home Depot. And I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit from this other one. And I'm gonna use a paint stir stick that I just stained with some plain brown stain, okay? And we are going to be hanging the, I'm just looking at my other example, the blue part right here, okay? So, we can start making our strips. And before I came live, I tore a few of these and I tore a few of the others, but I want to show you how this is done. Where are my scissors? This is the fun part. I mean, seriously, it is. I just cut a little snip and then you tear it. And be prepared that you're going to be covered in strings for days. They don't have to all be exactly the same width, but I'll get out my ruler in just a second and give you an idea roughly what these are. Okay, I think this might be enough because these are super long, because it went the whole width of this piece of fabric. So. All right, let's pull some of these strings off. And sort of push it open. You could do this with painter's drop cloth too, or any kind of white or cream fabric. And these little flags are easy to store, and you can use them year after year after year. I think they're awesome. Okay. So let's just get all the main strings off, or most of them anyways. I've got strings on the floor. And strings, strings, strings everywhere. So I did pin links to the 2 stencils that we're using right here, right down there. There's 3 or 4 or 5 flags, and then down below that are the links. Okay. And I think I decided that I was going to go about this length. Let me see, will that work? Yeah, it probably will, because I want to remember that underneath the God Bless America, that you're going to do more strips. So I'm going to cut this and put all the long ones right here. Where is my other piece? These are shorter. Oh, here it is. We might have to tear some more. We'll just see how it goes. Okay, and you're going to be working on the back, so let me show you how that goes. I just tied my string before I got started, that I was hanging it on either side, and then you can see how I just glued the blue stenciled part straight on it, and then I started layering my strips right next to it on the back. Does that make sense? So it's all hidden, all the messy stuff is hidden, except for the fray, which I wanted to show. Okay, and let's get some string. This is that polished hemp from Walmart that I love, that I use for everything. And it really doesn't have to be very long, because your flag itself is going to be pretty long. Oh, I was going to measure how wide these strips are. Okay, so this is what that's going to look like to get started. And I'm going to actually go this way because I don't want the numbers to show anywhere. Okay, I have to remember what I'm doing. All right, so let's start over on the very edge with a red strip. And before I came live, I tore a whole bunch of pieces of this red fabric. Just the same process as what you do with the other. Flip this over so I can remember how it goes. And I'm using my low temperature hot glue gun. If you don't have a hot glue gun already, I would definitely recommend that you get a low temperature one. Whoops, that's the wrong way. Ooh. I almost glued it on backwards. Okay, so you're going to glue it on the back, and then when it flips over, it will be right side to the front. Okay, so then we would do a cream, and I wanted my creams to be sort of underneath the red. So, think how I'm doing this. So I should have done my cream first. Oh well. I'll get it on here and then we'll get going and it'll be fine. Okay, so we're just gluing it to this side and then we'll flip it over when we're all ready to go. Okay? So I need another red. Let's do another cream first before I get too far into this, and let's scooch that over. I hope this makes sense. I mean, honestly, it is so easy. And if you have a bunch of bandanas or even some red and blue fabric or red and white fabric, you can totally make this project. See how quick it's coming together? Oops. Yes. Okay, but I need to fix this. This has to go up to the top. There we go. think I glued it down before I knew what I was doing. All right, there we go. I'll make this all neat in just a second. Okay, and let's do another cream strip. And then we'll layer the red on top. And when you tear fabric, let me show you this. It's going to have this real tendency to curl on the sides, which if you just push it open, you can generally get it to lay flat again. If all else fails, you could also iron it, but I'm not that motivated today, so we won't be ironing. What we've got so far. Remember, the part that we stenciled will be right here. So let's do another strip of this. And the back can be as messy as you would like. It does not have to be neat at all. Unless you're making this as a gift, and then you could come back and clean it all up and make it nice if you wanted. Are you overlapping? Yes, I am. And I'll hold this up close just to show you. I'm overlapping so that the red layer is over the top. Okay, here's the back of it. And you can see I'm putting down the cream and then I'm overlapping so that the red is on the top. And when I turn it over and it's hung like this, I'll glue some of the edges together and the red will hang on top and be more prominent. Does that make sense? How wide is our God Bless America? We still have a little more room to go. So what is everybody up to today? Who's crafting? Tell me in the comments if you are crafting and tell me what you're making. I'd love to know. When I show you this other one up close, I'm going to show you also how my ends are not all exactly the same, and you could add more layers to that if you wanted. But I pulled all my strings off. I guess not. There. So the other one has a natural paint stir stick, and this one has one that's stained, which I don't know if it'll show at all or not, but I just opted to do that. And we'll fix this issue right here with our little piece of fabric. Okay, now let's glue on our, let me think about this, how this is gonna go. Our God Bless America, and I think I need to cut this a little bit shorter and tear it. Probably not super duper duper dry, but this will work just fine. Okay, and then you have a decision to make. Which way do you want your print to go? This way or this way? Let me look at it. I think the other way, the other direction. Yeah, and I'm gonna add one more stripe of red before I attach this. Okay, let's take just a minute to glue the pieces down on the front before we attach this other. I'm going to do the cream pieces that are underneath first. This will just help it so that it lays flatter and straighter. So who's made one of these flags before? I know probably lots of you guys have, because it's not a new idea, it's just, this is my version of it, and I hope you guys like it. Okay, so once I get those pieces glued down, then we are going to flip over out how to do this. Flip over your red and glue those down and onto the cream just a little bit. I really want to see pictures of everybody's flags if you decide to make them, or if you made them before. I definitely want to see pictures. And I'm not sure which one of these is going to be cuter, the one that I made with the red ticking or this one that I've made with this fabric that looks like bandana fabric. I'm not sure. It is pretty cute already. See how quick it comes together? You could also add lace to this. I mean, you could add absolutely whatever you would like. And I think that I want to have it go this way. So I'm going to glue it just straight on the front of this piece of painter's stir stick. Started with that much. And I'm going to have it stick up just a little bit above the very edge of my paint stir stick. Okay, it's not finished because we have to do the things that go down below this now. And also I want to tack some of my pieces here together. So I think maybe I'll do that first. We're just gonna pull them out and put a little teeny blob of glue and pull them tight. And this will just help so that your little flaggy pieces, your stripes, are gonna lay flat. You don't have to glue them all in exactly the same spot though. Okay, so I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm essentially just gluing some of the pieces together so that it will hang straight. And I will finish that up when we're all done and you're not waiting on me to do something interesting. So let me show you now how we're gonna finish this out. We have this red, so we're gonna do a canvas red, shorter ones that we're gluing to the back of this. Whoops, I'm completely off camera. I'm so sorry about that. Let me say that again. Okay, so we're gonna be gluing strips right here to finish our little flag out. And I've got a red, and I think I'm gonna tack this down just a little bit. Okay, so I want a cream. I'm going to be gentle because this is not super duper dry, but it's dry enough. Okay, so now I want a cream, and it's going to be way too long, but that's okay. Let me just think. I want to make sure that my red is over the top on the front, so it's going to be underneath when I'm looking at it backwards. I might need to tear a little bit more. And these are going to be way too long, but that's okay. We can shorten them easy enough. Okay, let me think about this for just a second. I want my red to be in the front, so I'm going to need to pull these up just a little bit and tuck my red in here. I was not thinking. I suppose this is one of the good things about crafting with me is that I'm always making mistakes. And so you don't have to, because you'll remember, oh yeah, make sure that you have it all going the direction that you want it. Okay, I'm officially out of the cream colored stripes, but you guys get the whole vision of this flag, right? So I will continue out to this edge. I just need a couple more strips of the cream. And here's the one that is completed. And here's the one that we're working on. What do you guys think? Let me hold it up close. This one has the subway tile, which is a great stencil, in blue ink. And then this is the red and white ticking. Okay, and then this one has the God Bless America stencil in blue ink. And then it has the canvas with this fabric that looks like a bandana. And I just need to do a few little more pieces right here, and then I will be all done. So what do you guys think? Do you like that project? I think it turned out pretty cute. I'm pretty happy with it. I guess I'll lay these here so you can do a screenshot if you want. They're not gonna look great. They're gonna look messy, but yeah, it looks really messy. But you get the idea of it. Okay, well that's really all I wanted to share with you guys today. I do have a bunch of other projects that are in the works. We're going to be doing more lemons, and I'm working on a, where is it? Okay, I'm working, you know, we made these little needle books last week. Do you guys remember that? Out of felt. This is mine. I also made this little pouch for my crochet hooks. So now I'm working on some fun little pin cushions. And this is just my very first pass. I'll get it completely fabulous, how I love it, before I actually show you how to do it. And so it'll be jazzed up a lot before we do it. But these are just some little jelly jars. And this is just some stuffing and a piece of cardboard and some of this same canvas. So that's something that we'll be doing. And then I have a bunch of other things that are in the works. So I hope you'll join me for all of that. Lots of variety here. And if you want to see what's coming up for the rest of the week or over the weekend or for Christ and Crafting on Sunday, do a this. That's a thumb. Or a this. That's a heart, sort of. Or say something in the comments and then take a peek up here to see if you've liked and followed DIY Dreaming. Thank you to everyone who gave me stars. I so appreciate you. If you like this video, you like this project, I would love it if you would sprinkle this video to your social media if you want to. And what was the other thing? Oh, and if you want to look at the stencils that I used to create these two looks, the Subway or the God Bless America or the blue ink, I did pin right here all the links for you just to make it super convenient. And once you get there, feel free to wander around on my website and see what other goodies are there, because there's lots of great things over there. Let me know if you have any questions. And yep, I'm gonna quit talking and say goodbye for now. I'll get pictures. I'll probably get pictures when these are all finished. I'll hang them on my front porch and get pictures of them in action. So be looking for that here in the comments and also just on my DIY Dreaming page. All right, see you guys later. Thanks for joining me.